Let's talk Nebraska recruiting because there are some big name flip targets on campus this weekend as UCLA heads to Lincoln this weekend, and so are some top recruits. It's going to be a 2:30 local kickoff, so it's going to give plenty of time for these recruits to get to the sidelines and watch this one. In this video, I got Sean Callahan from Husker online. We're going to break it all down, but first, Nebraska fans, do me a favor, hit subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. This is the best recruiting channel on all of YouTube. So jump on board and hit subscribe. All right, let's bring in Sean Callahan from Husker Online. Now, Sean, 2:30 kickoff. Nebraska comes back home. What's the atmosphere going to be like for this one?
You know, I think 2 weeks ago I would have said I'm not sure, but I think the way Nebraska played at Ohio State, just that performance, I think has really kind of turned the thought process of what now this final month of the season is going to look like for the Huskers. People don't like 11 a.m. kicks here, so getting another 2:30 game. In fact, Nebraska hasn't had an 11 a.m. all year at home, and this is their sixth home game, with the Wisconsin game being their final. So it is going to set up for ideally a nice 60-ish degree fall afternoon in Lincoln, giving a lot of recruits plenty of opportunity to get to campus.
Yeah, and one of those recruits that's going to be there is Chase Lofton, the number 2 ranked player in the state of Nebraska. Now, early in the season, I asked you, hey, what's going on with Chase Lofton? You were just, Josh, there's nothing going on with Chase Lofton. Even though Florida State was struggling, there was nothing going on, but that has changed. Now Chase Lofton is trending heavily to the Huskers. What's gone on since about the beginning of the season to now to get Chase Lofton and Nebraska on track to maybe flip him?
Well, I think it's a number of things, but clearly Florida State's start to the season and just kind of where things are at with the Seminoles from where he committed a year ago or in the summer, it's different. And he's from Omaha, you know, and being able to play at Nebraska just makes a lot of sense. I mean, the Huskers do play 3 tight ends regularly in games right now with Matt Rule and what they do. And, you know, obviously NIL, I mean, I think Nebraska, to get a guy like Lofton, you have to be competitive because, you know, clearly then I think the Noles to get him out of here and to beat other teams like Texas A&M that were involved, you know, there's quite an NIL market. So not only does Nebraska, I think, offer a great opportunity for him as a tight end, I think competitively too, as far as what it will take NIL to get a guy like him, they're going to be able to get that done as well. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if he ends up a Husker at some point here in the coming days ahead.
Yeah, what are we looking at? Because, hey, I mean, even if he took this thing all the way to signing, that's only 4 or 5 weeks from now. But do you have Chase Lofton on flip watch this weekend?
I do. I don't know if it's this weekend, how it's all going to play out with him, but it's the only visit he's going to take. He's not going to go anywhere else. So there's just so many things that point that, hey, this is going to be a guy that probably ends up as a Husker. The fact that he's taking this late trip to Lincoln, and, you know, it's a different month ahead. Signing day, as you said, is 2 weeks earlier on the first Wednesday in December. Coaches will not be able to go out on the road and conduct in-home visits before the signing day this year. So it's different than what we've seen in years past. So this activity of him coming to Nebraska, to me, really shows his cards probably in what direction things are heading.
Yeah, and the experts have already put their picks in. It seems like it is just a matter of time until Nebraska completes that flip. Now, there's also going to be some really important 2026 prospects. One of the best running backs in the country, Brian Bonner, is going to be on campus for another visit. How's Nebraska doing with these prospects for the 2026 class and any other important names we need to know about?
Well, they've had a lot of top guys make their way to campus, especially from the surrounding states. When you look at South Dakota, Kansas, Missouri, Colorado, Iowa, they've really had all the top prospects from those states come. But we've also seen, you know, Matt Ludwig come on campus. I think he's one of the best tight end athlete prospects for 2026. And that is kind of what game days now are more focused on. You know, you're more or less done with 2025. 2026 is kind of the priority at this point. With a lot of these game day visitors, you want them to come on like this Bonners is doing, and then get them back again sometime between January and March, April, get them back for a second visit, then get them back for that official visit in June. I mean, that's kind of the roadmap for Nebraska that they have to follow, is get these players here at least 3 times, once during the season, once in the spring, winter, and then once in the summer. And that's generally the best formula they have to get a guy to commit.
Yeah, All right. Before we wrap it up, I just got to ask, because we did not mention him and his name's not on the visit list. Michael Terry III, the 5-star out of the state of Texas. Is there any chance that Nebraska can get him back to campus before signing day? Hey, Inside Scoop fans, if you're heading out to the FSU or UNC game this weekend, whether you're cheering on the Tar Heels or the Seminoles on November 2nd, plan for a pit stop at the Whataburger food truck during your tailgate. Get ready to watch the game by securing an easy W first with a hot, fresh Whataburger, that is. No matter who comes out top, when you take your team to Whataburger, you know what it'll feel like to be a winner by getting your food made fresh, your way, hot, every time, 24/7. We'll see you at the game, and we'll see you at Whataburger.
Never say never. But they've got him on campus plenty of times this year. It's just a matter of kind of his timeline and his process. And obviously, I think the NIL market, Texas, Oregon, but I think mainly Texas are the players right now, along with Nebraska. So him, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention Dawson Merritt, the linebacker commit to
Absolutely.
Alabama. Matt Rule did visit him during the bye week a couple of weeks ago. That was the only recruit Matt Rule went out and saw. I do think that is another guy that you have to continue to watch. Nebraska just got Juju Marks out of Kansas City. They already have Isaiah Mosey. And I just think the Kansas City area, with Jamar Mosey now on this staff, the former Lee Summit North High School head coach, they've made a lot of inroads there. So keep your eyes again on Dawson Merritt as well for Nebraska here in this class of 2025.
Yeah, we were on with Steve Wiltfong on the Wiltfong Whip Around on Monday, and Steve said just that he thinks there's a better chance that Dawson Merritt ends up at Nebraska than Alabama. So we'll just have to see how all this plays out. But those are some big-time flip targets on the radar. So Nebraska fans, talk to us. How are you feeling about Chase Lofton this weekend? This would be a huge opportunity for Nebraska to flip him. Talk to us. Do you think it's going to go down? Let us know. Comment section below.